ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। हरि ओम, salutations to all. So in the 7th canto, first chapter, at the end of it we saw the samvad of Naradji and Yudhishthir when Shishupal was killed by Bhagavan and he merged with Bhagavan. So Naradji was asked by Yudhishthir that how did this happen? So Naradji gave the backstory that Jay and Vijay were cursed by the Sanat Kumars and they were to take birth 3 times in the Suryoni. And so they came as the 3 pairs, Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Ravan, Kumbhakarna and Shishupal and Dantavakra. So in that context, Yudhishthirji then asked Naradji that how is it that Hiranyakashipu developed such hatred for Prahlad? So Prahladji was such a great devotee of Bhagwan. How did he develop that hatred for him? And what are the circumstances? Why did this happen? That's where the first chapter ended. So now Naradji replies, and the second chapter here starts. Narada uvacha भ्रातर्येवं विनिहते हरिणा क्रोडमूर्तिना हिरण्यकशिपु राजन् पर्यतप्यदृशाशुचा. So when Hiranyakashipu was killed, and how did Bhagavan kill him? Through that Varaha avatar, Krodamurtina. Then Hiranyaksha was killed, sorry, and then Hiranyakashipu felt very pained, agonized. And he was very angry. Paryatapyad Rusha Shucha. So he was very, very angry, he was sad. Aha chedam Rusha Dhurnaha Sandashtadashanachadaha Kopo Jvaladbhyam Chakshurbyam Nirikshan Dhumramambaram. So he was burning with rage and biting his lips. His eyes are as though, radiating this anger. And he gazed at the sky, which looks very misty because of his anger and his grief. And so he was very terrible to look at. And in anger, what does he say? He calls all the demons. He's addressing an assembly of demons. Who are these demons? So Danavas and Daityas. So he says Dvimurdha, one who has 2 heads. Triyaksha, who has 3 eyes. Shambara, then Shatabahu, he has 100 arms. Hayagriva, who has a horse head. Then Namuchi, Paka, Ilvala, Viprachitti, all these, Puloma, Shakuna, he calls all of them and he addresses them saying ki follow my instructions and there should not be any delay in this. So what are the instructions that he gives? So he says that though Vishnu may be same to all, see what he says here. Samenapyupadhavanau. So Samena, though Vishnu is supposed to be same to all, but bewildered by Maya. Look at his thinking. He's saying bewildered by Maya. Now Vishnu is taking the side of the Devatas, and he has killed my brother. So he says here, my beloved and younger brother Hiranyaksha has been uh, caused by the petty enemies to be slain at the hands of Vishnu, who, though impartial, has been won over by the Devatas through the services rendered to him. So he says Vishnu Bhagwan has become partial now. Why? Because Devatas are going to him, praising him, worshipping him, so he has become partial to them. And he has got affected by Maya. So, like a restless child takes sides, in that way, Vishnu is also taking sides to please his devotees, to please the Devatas. And so he killed my brother. See, this is how it happens in the world also. What Hiranyaksha did, that he is not taking into consideration. That Hiranyaksha took the Prithvi down to Rasatal. That karma of his deserved that death. But he doesn't take charge of that. He doesn't hold Hiranyaksha responsible for his bad karmas. He holds Bhagavan responsible. In the world also we do that. Blame Bhagavan. Don't take responsibility for some actions. Whether we know or we don't know. Many times we know also, but we don't take the responsibility. Sometimes we don't know, it is past karma. But if we understand law of cause and effect, then something is being experienced by us now. There must be some cause for it. Randomly that, God is making somebody suffer. Now you suffer. So here, Hiranyaksha has done the wrong deed. He got the karma phala. That is the way any logical person would think. But overwhelmed by grief, by anger, these emotions have completely hijacked his mind. So he says this Vishnu has lost partiality, lost impartiality, he has become influenced by Maya. And Maya is his power, and he is controlling the Maya and creating, sustaining, destroying the universe. And Hiranyakashipu says that he has come under the spell of Maya. That is delusion. And now he blames him, saying he has killed my brother because Devatas are worshipping him, so he is partial to them. So what should be done? He says, I will behead this Vishnu. Look at that. He thinks Vishnu Bhagavan is an ordinary mortal, he can kill and he'll destroy. It's a second aspect of delusion. And he says that Machula Bhinna Grivasya Bhurina Rudhirena Vai Rudhira Priyam Tarpayishye Bhrataram Me Gatavyathaha. With my trident, I will behead this Vishnu and take that blood and I will offer that blood in Tarpan. Look at the Asuri Buddhi. Tarpan we do to the deceased with sacred water, chanting the mantras for their Sadgati and all that. This fellow, he wants to do the Tarpan with the blood of Vishnu Bhagavan. So he says that I will behead him with my trident and with his blood I will do Tarpan. Why? Because my brother is fond of blood. See that. Rudhira Priyam. Hiranyaksha is fond of blood. What kind of a person is he? Think about it. So he says, my brother who is fond of blood, I will do Tarpan for him with that because that will please him. And once Vishnu is killed, then all the devatas, they will just wither away because all the power they get is from Vishnu. Vishnu is protecting them all the time. So just like this gives analogy, like the tree's root is cut. If you cut the root, then the whole tree will just fall and nothing, it can't grow back. In that same way, he says that the branches, the twigs, everything will dry away. Devatas will all get perished. So there is no further threat to us. So what should you do meanwhile? He wants to kill Vishnu with his trident. So whatever strengthens Vishnu, destroy all that. So he says that on the earth, destroy all those people who are engaged in austerity, etc. Tavadyata bhuvam yuyam vipra ksatra samedhitam sudayadvam tapo yajna swadhyaya vrata daninaha. He says this, that till I don't destroy him, what you should do, you should prepare the background. And what you should do, the Brahmanas, the Kshatriyas, they are the ones who are nurturing, nourishing this whole society, and the earth is flourishing because of them. So what you should do, go and destroy them. And especially those who are engaged in this tapa, those who are doing austerity, yajna, who are doing rituals, swadhyaya, who are studying scriptures, following vratas, ekadashi, etc. And daninaha, those who are doing charity. To all this, Vishnu gets strengthened. Why? Vishnu dvija kriya mulo yajno dharmamaya puman devarshir pitrubhutanam dharmasya cha parayanam. Because Vishnu gets strengthened because his nature is yajna, he is dharmamaya, and all the activities of the dvijas, the brahmanas, the kshatriyas, etc., they strengthen him. And so you must, he is the refuge for the devatas, for the pitrus, for the divine sages, saints, all of them. So what you should do, destroy the brahmanas, destroy the kshatriyas, destroy the tapasvis, destroy those who are doing dan, destroy the temple, destroy the yajnas, all these you destroy. And all these places also, not only the people, go and destroy these places so that in future also nobody comes and does. If you destroy the temple, then how will people go and worship there? Just destroy. So it is like that. And he says, wherever there are cows and brahmanas, go and just destroy. Yatra yatra dvija gavo veda varnashrama kriyaha tam tam janapadam yata sandipayata vrishchata. Wherever there are these cows, there are brahmanas, go to all these places where the study of the Veda is happening, varnashrama dharma is being followed. You burn down the cities, cut down the trees, destroy that whole place, kill the people, don't allow them to do all these activities. If you think about it, this has happened not only in those times, it has happened even in independent India so many years, where from the education system this was removed. And today also the effects of it we see or not. How many Hindus scoff at rituals saying, I'm not ritualistic. They take pride in that, because they think this is all superstitious, there is no God. This is Hiranyakashipu mindset. These yajnas, rituals, vratas, all is useless. Temples, why should I go to temple? Why should a temple be built? Build some hospital, build some school. Are school, hospital also we require, temple also we require. But no, so-called secularism has been fed into the head of the gullible, innocent, unthinking, docile Hindus. And so-called educated people also, much more they are brainwashed by leftist thinking, by all kinds of brainwashing of secularism, of Western colonialism, full khichdi, confused in the head. Kalidas ji was sitting on the tree, on the branch he was sitting, that he was cutting. We are one step ahead of that. Where there is the axe, we go and jump on that and destroy ourselves. That is our stupidity. Let others also come and destroy us and smilingly get destroyed. Why? Not thinking that what is being taught to us, look around and open the eyes and see who is following secularism. And is Hindu thought not inherently secular? Don't we respect all? That is there in our DNA in the Hindu thought itself. Ano Bhadra Kratavo Yantu Vishwata. May noble thoughts come to us from all directions. Are the other people saying that? They are not. Either you follow us or convert or die. Even today that is happening. And still people are dumb. So this Hiranyakashipu, he gave the orders. And this army of his demons, they go and they start persecuting the citizens because their master has given that order. And they anyway are, you know, very fond of killing, destroying, bloodshed. So they are Kadana Priyaha. They will go and destroy. They got what you call that permission, license they got now. Jao, karo, mass destruction you do. So they are setting fire to the cities, villages, gardens, fields, forests, hermitages, the cow sheds, government capitals, bridges, city walls, gates, cut down the trees. And people are also getting disturbed. They are also scared. People don't want to study the Veda, they don't want to do ritual. In different ways, that is happening today or not. If somebody is doing a ritual, people call him old, superstitious, outdated, ritualistic. Hai. We are scientific. We are spiritual, not religious. I keep telling this again and again because to the level of which the ignorance is there. I am scientific, I am spiritual, I am not religious. Why religion is equated only to ritual, and ritual is thought to be blind, superstitious. And spirituality is supposed to be only values, philosophy, and no ritual. It's like saying, I will just read books on swimming and I will not jump in the water. Hey, that is ritualistic. Who will do the drills? I don't want to do the drill. Keep paddling in water, all the drills which are associated. Hold that bar, paddle in the water, keep turning the head, keep breathing with the mouth. Who is going to do all that? I just read books on swimming. It's so nice. And I read 20,000 books on swimming. And I attend a discussion group on swimming. And we meet weekly and we discuss about different types of swimming. Arey, jump in water. How much will you keep talking about swimming? But no, no. It's as stupid as that. Philosophy we only study. Rituals and all. So people are scared. In those times also, today also, the pressure is different. They want to fit in an elite circle, in a so-called particular society where people all talk like this only and they don't engage in any of this, or they engage privately in their own house. Nobody should know, because finally they want some blessing of Bhagwan to fulfill some desire, or some problem should go. Secretly you get it done. So people were scared. They started giving up the Vedic culture. Yajnas also stopped because they are coming and torturing those who are doing yajnas. And Devtas, they don't get the ahutis. So they are also getting deprived. They left heavens. Meanwhile, what happens? Now all this is happening. Now this Hiranyakashipu, he does the last rites of his brother. This is strange, na? This is what hypocrisy is. Those who are talking so much about language, 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 and native language, their own children are not studying in the schools where native language medium is taught. The knowledge is given in the native language. Those guys are all studying and their children are studying in English language schools. Same way, this fellow, he said you destroy all the people and the rituals and all that, and he is doing the last rites of his brother. See, he is written here. हिरण्यकशिपुः भ्रातुः संपरेतस्य दुःखितः कृत्वा कटोदकादीनि भ्रातृपुत्रान् asantwayat. See that? Having offered water and other oblations to the spirit of his younger brother Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, he himself was feeling very miserable, but he is consoling the children of Hiranyaksha. Who are these children? Shakuni, Shambhara, Dhrishta, Bhuta, Santapana, Vrika, Kalanabha, Mahanabha, uh, Harishmarshru, and Utkacha. These are all the names of his sons. This Shakuni is not that Mahabharat ka Shakuni. It is just another one. Now, when he did this, having done those rituals, he is addressing his mother Diti and the sons of Hiranyaksha. So before I go into that address, one thing to know symbolism is Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, they are children of Diti. Diti represents Bheda Buddhi, duality. And where there is no Bheda Buddhi, that is Aditi, non-duality. So where one sees duality, psychologically, then there is a discrimination, then there is attachment, then there will be fear, anger, all that will rise. So Diti is Bheda Buddhi. Diti has two children, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu is the elder one. Hiranyaksha is the younger one. Hiranyaksha represents mama, possessiveness, myness, and Hiranyakashipu represents aham, ahankar, I-ness. So this Bheda Buddhi, the duality creates I, mine. In that, Bhagavan Vishnu first kills this this myness. Hiranyaksha is killed. Myness is more easy to give up. Possessiveness is more easy to give up. I-ness is more subtle to give up. Ahankar is more subtler to give up. And as you go along, you will see the boon that he asks Brahmaji. I should not be killed inside, outside, not in the sky, not on the earth, not by astra, not by shastra, not in the morning, not in the night. Like that, when he asks the boons, symbolically, Ahankar cannot be killed in any of these, neither outside nor inside. So Ahankar has to be brought in the middle and killed. How in Vedanta we say, between the two thoughts is the gap which is consciousness. If we realize that, one realizes, Arey, my nature is infinite consciousness. Otherwise, one is identified with the thought. So, there is a deeper symbolism, Vedantic symbolism of this Hiranyakashipu. Now, this Hiranyakashipu, look at the knowledge that he gives to his mother Diti and all the family members. If we listen to this knowledge, we will understand that these Daityas, they are not ignorant, illiterate people. They are also well versed in the knowledge of the Veda. Rakshasas, Asuras. It is not that they don't know the Veda, they have been deprived, so they have animalistic tendencies or they have lower tendencies, and hence they are torturing and troubling people. If they had been given the chance, they would have also, lived a more happier life, more sattvic, positive life. No, Ravan was very well versed in the Veda. Asuras, this Hiranyakashipu also is well versed in the Veda. Hiranyaksha also was. Otherwise, how will they know that Yajna is sustaining Vishnu? Vishnu Swarupa is Yajna. All that which he said, how does he know all that? And it is not that they don't know Brahmagyan also. They also know that body is different from the Atma. That is what he will say now. So what does that mean? One may be studied, one may have studied the Veda, one may know all this, still a person who does not have purity of mind will live in a asuric way only. who feeds the body, who feeds the ego is an asura. Feeds the body in the sense who revels only in sense objects. Knowing very well that this body is perishable, still goes on thinking pleasure of the body is my pleasure. So revel in sense enjoyments and do even adharma for that. Asushu ramate iti asuraha. One who revels only in the prana, meaning the energies of the body and the mind, are used only for sense enjoyments. And that is the supreme goal. Nothing more than enjoyment one wants. Even all the hard work, money, position, power, etc. is just enjoy, drink, eat, enjoy, live lavishly. Why? Goal of life is that. And for that, even if cutthroat competition, kill, destroy, plunder, loot, doesn't matter, do it. Everybody is going to do it. This is Kali Yuga, one has to do it. All that justification. And knowingly also one will do. Then that is worst. So here you will see now how Hiranyakashipu gives the knowledge to his family. Now see this. Hiranyakashipu uvacha Ambambahe Vadhuputra Viram Marhatha Shochitum Riporabhi Riporabhimukhe Shlaghyah Shuranam Vadha Ipsitaha. So what does he say? He says that my brother was a great hero. Don't lament his death because he would have desired a glorious death at the hands of his enemy. He is not a coward. He did not escape. And it is actually praiseworthy. The death of the hero is praiseworthy. It is glorious, desirable. Then he says, Bhuta namiha samvasaha prapayamiva suvrate daive naikatra nitanam unnitanam swakarmabhihi. So he says that, the jivas, they come together in certain karmic arrangements. How? Just like the travelers, people are walking on the road, different people are on the journey, and there's a wayside inn where they gather together, they eat something, they drink something, they are there for some time, then again they continue. In that way, different jivas come together because of karma and they depart because of their karma. So we are like the jiva. Different jivas, they just come together because of karma. See, that knowledge is giving. From Vedic standpoint, that knowledge what he is giving is right. Because jivas come together by karma only. So he says this separation is inevitable. Bhutanamiha samvasa prapayamiva subrate daive naikatra nitanam unnitanam sokarmabhi. Nitya atma avyayah shuddhah sarvaga sarvavit parah dhatte savatmano lingam mayaya visrijan gunan. Full Atmagnan Vedanta is giving now. That Atma is Nitya. This body is perishable. Jiva comes together. Different jivas come together, they part. Jiva keeps taking new bodies as per the karma. But the Atma is indestructible. See that he is giving Atmagyan. He knows the self in that sense of information. He knows that there is an Atma separate from the body. It's not that Asuras don't know, Rakshasas, they don't know this. They also know Atma is different from the body. So just information to have Atma is different from the body doesn't mean anything. He's not living that way to realize that self. So he says, what are the qualities of this Atma? Look at this. He has enlisted. Nitya, Atma is Nitya. Avyaya, changeless. Shuddha, pure. Sarvagaha, all pervasive. Sarvavit, all knowing. Paraha, supreme. And uh, Paraha also can mean other than the body. Paraha. Dhatte asau atmano lingam. These are all the lingam means characteristics in this context. And we have forgotten this. Mayaya Visrujan Gunan. And what has happened? Because of this Maya, we have lost this awareness that our nature is at Atma, and Atma is different from the body, from the Jiva. And hence, a person, what has happened, has become bound. um, and because of this Maya, one is thinking of oneself as the jiva, as the body, then getting attached to objects and getting entangled in the samsara. So Mayaya Visrujan Gunan. One has forgotten one's nature as the self, then bound. Yathambasa prachalata taravopi chala iva chakshusha bhramyamanena drishyate chalativa bhuhu. So he gives two examples here. How the water which is reflecting, the sun or the moon which are reflecting in the water, not sun moon, sorry, this is the taravaha. So the trees. So in the flowing stream, yathambasa prachalata, the flowing stream, there is reflection of the tree. Now tree is on the banks, tree is stationary, the stream is moving. But to an onlooker, sometimes it looks as though the tree is also moving with that stream. Taravapi chala iva. And then second example he gives is chakshusha bhramyamanena. If a person goes round, first, you circle. In childhood, one used to do go round, and then you just stop. The whole mind, it looks as though the whole earth is, whirling around you. So that way, chakshusha brahmyamanina drishyate chalati bhuhu. The earth looks as though there is, the movement happening. In that way, evam gunair brahmyamane manaha syavikalaha puman. Manasya vikala puman. Yati tat samyatam bhadre hyalingo lingavaniva. That which has no qualities, no attributes, which is alinga, appears as though having a linga, which is the Atma, which has no attributes, no qualities, nothing identified with the mind, appears to be having all these qualities, good qualities, bad qualities, sukha, dukkha, papa, punya, all this is all because of false identification. This is perfect Vedanta is telling. एष आत्मा विपर्यासो यलिंगे लिंग भावना एष प्रिया प्रियैर्योगो वियोग कर्म संस्कृति. So he says that to identify with the body, the self, to think that this body is the self, which has no connection actually. His body has no connection with the spirit. And this delusion, this is a perversion which has happened. And because of this, what has happened? Identified with the body, now there's raga and dvesha. So certain things one likes, certain things one doesn't like. And then there is, you run towards what you like, you run away from what you don't like, and when you get something, then one is attached to it. When one doesn't get, and after some time one is separated from it, so there is sorrow. All this is happening, and a jiva is caught in the cycle of karma because of this. Karma samsritihi. Sambhavascha vinashascha shokascha vividha smritaha. Now the creation and the destruction and then the grief, all this one goes through. Why? Avivekascha. Because of lack of discrimination. There is worry, chinta. Viveka smriti revacha. And forgetting all this, viveka asmriti, the separation of the atma and the body, because one has forgotten all this, one is going through all this pain, sorrow, anxiety, everything. This is the Atma Gyan he is giving to them, saying ki don't be so attached. And now he is giving one case study also, saying, this is not just some theory that I am telling you. In the past, he recollects one conversation between Yamraj and the relations of a deceased person. He says, listen to that. So, theory he has given. Now he is giving the examples of people who have said, Yamaraj himself has said this. So, he is saying that what I am telling you is not some, imagination of my mind. It is not some theory that I have cooked up. Yamaraj also told the same thing to the relatives of a deceased person. So he quotes now. What is that? He says that Ushinara, there was a territory called Ushinara, and there was a great king called Suyagnya. And he was killed by the enemy in the battle. And his relatives, kith and kin, family members, they all have come around and sat. As he was lying on the battlefield, he was dead, stained with blood, biting his lips in anger. Jeweled armor is smashed, ornaments and the wreaths of flower have fallen off. His head is pierced with an arrow, his hair is thrown out, his eyes are sunk deep, his lotus face is covered with dust, and his weapons and arms cut into pieces. In this pitiable, pathetic condition, he is lying on the battlefield, and all his family members are around him. Now, the wives of this king, Ushinara, they see their husband lying like this, reduced to such a terrible condition by fate, providence. They are very distressed and they are violently beating on their chests and they are, wailing, weeping, and they are exclaiming that we are lost. They drop down beside his feet, and some of them are holding his feet and crying. They are washing the feet with the tears, and some of them have tinted reddish with saffron paste on their breasts, causing griefs in the heart of the men. The ladies wailed piteously, their locks and jewels loosened and displaced. And what are they saying? Alas, this pitiless providence, this fate. O Lord, you have been reduced to a state of existence beyond our sight. They are telling the husband, O Lord, this is your pitiable condition. We can't even see this because it's completely shattered, destroyed. Body is gone there. They say that you were once the life giver support. Once the life giver support of the Ushinaras, you have been providing for all these inhabitants of this land. You were the provider, you were the king, you protected them. And now this has happened to you, that you are dead, completely destroyed. How can we live without you, our dearest friend, who were disposed to appreciate whatever was done to you by the way of service? So therefore, permit us, servants of your feet, to follow you to the place where you will go. They want to kill themselves also. Now, as they are thinking like this, what happened? They are not willing to allow anybody to take the body for the cremation. And the sun is setting there. At that time, hearing the lament of all these relatives, Yamaraj comes there himself in the form of a child. Tatraha preta bandhunam ashrutya paridevitam ahatan balako bhutva yamah swayam upagatah. See, preta bandhun means what? Literally, preta means one who has departed. We think of pret means, Hare Bhutatma, Pretatma, Bhatakti Atma, oh God, terrible. Preta only means one who has gone, departed from here. So if you go from your home out to, let us say, office, you are a preta. Oh no, no, Swamiji, don't say like that, I'm not any preta, because we think that preta means only one who is dead. Literally, preta means who has departed. So you depart from here, sit in the car, till the time you reach the destination. In between, you are preta. You have departed from here. So, in this context, it means that the departed, one who has departed from the physical body, his relatives and all of them are there around him and they are grieving. At that time, Yamraj comes there in the form of a small child. And what does Yamraj say? Yamraj is giving advice to these wives and the family members now of this King Ushinara. So Yamraj says, Yama Uvacha Aho Amisham Vayasadhikanam Vipashyatam Loka Vidhim Vimohaha Yatragatas Gatam Manusyam Swayam Sadharma Api Shochayantya Partham. Hmm. Shochantya Partham. Huh? So he says that because he has come in the form of a balaka, small child, he says, Vayasadhikanam, you are superior to me in the age, but you are infatuated, you are attached. Oh, the infatuation of these my superiors in age who clearly perceive the course of the world, meaning inevitability of death. Lokavidhim, vipashyatam. Still they are vimoha, still they are deluded. Everybody knows what okay, one who is born has to die, and one is seeing that also in the world. This is a martya loka. People will die and they will perish. Yatragatas tatra gatam manusham. From where the one has come, there one goes, returns to the source. Yatra agatam tatra gatam manusham. Swayam sadharmaha. And they also will follow the same. But when somebody else has gone back to the source, shochayanti, they wail, they weep in vain for this person who has gone back to the source. That person has not become extinct, destroyed completely. From where one came, there one goes back. From the office, from the home, one goes to the office, finishes the work, comes back home. Now, why will somebody wail in the office? Are he came from home, he did his work, came back. But no, no. Like that it is. From the state of supreme consciousness, that is our true self, we have forgotten that. Come here, exhaust some karma, went back to that state of a jiva. As per the karma, one will keep taking many, many bodies. In between, one will go back, let us say, to the unmanifest state. From the physical manifest state, goes back to the unmanifest state as a subtle body, again come back into manifest state. All because one has forgotten one's true nature. So, birth is from unmanifest to manifest, death is from manifest to unmanifest. The Gita also says that what is unmanifest has become manifest, what is manifest has become unmanifest. So, what is there to grieve in that? When a person understands that philosophically, but attachments are there emotionally, so one feels, oh, I'm not going to see this person anymore, I miss the interaction, I can't connect anymore. But how much can one connect? For how long will one connect? Because it's a perishable world. And like that example given earlier, the travelers, they come together, they drink some water, eat some food, rest for a while, and then again they depart. Each one is on their own journey. So when one knows that, so he says here, but still people are deluded. Then he says that most blessed are we that have no anxiety and who are not being devoured by wolves and other carnivorous animals, though weak and forsaken here by our parents. Why? Because Bhagavan is the true protector, and that we forget. That He alone is the protector everywhere, who protects us in the womb of the mother, and that Bhagavan is there with us all the time. But we forget that Bhagavan. In the womb, there is nobody to look after us. Bhagavan alone is looking after, and that Bhagavan will be there with us throughout. But one has forgotten. So he says that you, the wise ladies, call the animate and inanimate creation as a plaything in the hands of Bhagwan, who creates it by his will. Please understand, this whole Srishti is one Leela going on. Bhagwan's will it is, his play it is. And he is the one who protects and he is the one who destroys also. The Srishti is created by him, then he is the protector and he only is the destroyer. By his will it is going on. He himself is imperishable. I am using he because limitation of language, otherwise Bhagwan is consciousness, no gender. Imperishable absolute truth. So he alone is competent to create, maintain, destroy, and he is there with us at all times. Now he says something very powerful which many of us know, we quote also, but one has to live by that. See, Pathichutam Tishthati Dishtarakshitam Grihe Sthitam Tad Vihatam Vinashyati Jivatya Nathopi Tadikshito Vane Grihepi Guptosya Hato Na Jivati. A very powerful shloka this is. What he says here is, when you are protected by destiny, which is your own past karma, if a thing is protected by destiny, it will remain intact even if it is dropped on the road. Meaning, amidst so much of chaos, traffic, this, that, if something has to be protected by destiny because of its own past karma, it will be protected even if it dropped on the road or in any dangerous situation. And that which is supposed to be destroyed because of again destiny, the past karma, then even though staying at home in the safe, secure environment, that thing will get destroyed. A forlorn creature watched over by providence survives even in the forest, while he whose doom is decreed by providence will not survive even though guarded at home. Don't we see that? The Air India crash that happened, people who were in the flight, people who were in that hostel, eating food, afternoon time, in the safety of the home, gone. And some people survived even in that 2001 9/11. Some people survive even in the blasts. How? Because their time has not come. When the time has come, whatever be the circumstances around, when that person has to drop and go, person will go. Nobody can stop. And when their time has not come, nobody can do anything. They may try anything, nothing will happen. Which means what? Birth and death, yes, by will of Bhagwan as well as karma. So Yamraj says that the bodies of the living beings of every description come into being and perish at the right time based on the karma. See that. Bhutani taistair nijayor nijayo nikarmabhihi bhavanti kale na bhavanti sarvashah na tatra atma prakrtavapi sthitah tasya gunairanyatamo nibadhyate. So the jivas of different types, different description, they come into being and they perish at the right time, appointed time based on their karma, determining their species. But the Atma, natatra hi Atma prakritavapi. This Atma, however, is different from the body and that is not bound by the laws of karma or the laws relating to the body. Though the Atma is enlivening this body as though functioning through the body. And so this body is born due to the ignorance of the Jiva. Jiva doesn't know one's own true nature and then the Jiva thinks of oneself as the Jivatma, then this body. And hence it is said it is different from the Jiva because it is perceived and is material as a house, just like the house is different from the indweller. There is one Sanskrit sutra which says Sanghatasya Pararthatvat. That which is an assemblage is meant for the some use of someone else. Like house is meant for the owner of the house or the user of the house. The vehicle is meant for the whoever is the owner of the vehicle. The owner is different from the vehicle. Driver is different from the vehicle. In the same way, this is the house. The indweller is the Atma. That's why in the Gita Bhagavan says, Dehi Nityam Avadhyoyam Dehe Sarvasya Bharata. The Deha is the body, Dehi is the indweller. And that indweller is the Atma, having forgotten itself, identifying with the body, thinks of itself as a Jiva. But Dehi Nityam Avadhyoyam, imperishable, indestructible is that Dehi. Not only in human beings, Dehe Sarvasya Bharata, in all the beings, there is one infinite consciousness, indestructible, imperishable. That is the truth. But one has not known that, one has forgotten. So, the body is made up of this matter. So, this earth, fire, water, these atoms, they make up the body. And in course of time, it goes through various modifications. And finally, it will perish. So another example he gives here, just as the fire existing in pieces of wood is observed to be distinct from the wood, even as the air, though existing everywhere in the body, appears as existing separately in the different parts of the body, the mouth, the nostrils, etc. And just as either, though all pervasive, does not cling to any substance, in that way the Atma is the foundation of everything in this universe. All matter is enlivened by the Atma, but Atma is not touched by anything. So Yamaraj says, you are that Atma, you are forgotten. Even that king, his true nature is the Atma. And even when the body is there, it is dropped. The Jivatma continues ahead. And Bhagwan is there to protect. So what are you grieving for? Then he says, Suyagnonanvayam shete mudha yamanushochatha yashrota yenu vakteha sanadrishyeta karhichit. He says, indeed, O fools, here lies the body called Suyagna. This body is lying here. And you are lamenting that. But the entity who was hearing, speaking, fighting, all that, the Jiva who was doing, that Jiva you have never seen because the Jiva is not visible. What is visible is only the body. That Jiva you have never seen. Shrota, Vakta iha sa na drishyate karhichit. That is invisible. And so you are thinking he is not there. Na shrota nanuvaktayam mukhyopyatra maha nasuhu. Yastviha indriya van atma sachanya prana dehayoho. And these pranas which are there, which is the foremost. People think that the prana is that because of which the person is alive. Prana is only vital energy. Consciousness is the atma and enlivener of prana also. But because prana is there, one sees the physical expression of life in the body, and so one thinks that this hearer, speaker, etc., they all are, this body is the hearer, the speaker, etc. But there is the indwelling atma which is separate. And so the jivatma, so as for the soul, while remaining in a body is endowed with the senses, is altogether different from the vital principles and from the body. That one should remember. Body and prana. Prana enlivens body, but Atma is enlivening both these, and it is different. And that is indestructible. So, this supreme consciousness, Atma, is different from the body. It only accepts different bodies as per the karma because of identification, because of ignorance. So, having said that, when this Jivatma further identifies with the body, feels limited, then does karmas, gets caught in the cycle of birth and death, and so it keeps taking new bodies to fulfill its own desires. All because one doesn't know one's nature is consciousness. So action proves to be a source of bondage only, so long as the soul identifies with the subtle body. And from such identification follow the perversion of the all blissful soul and the misery, which both are illusory. All this pleasure and the pain is illusory just because one doesn't know one's nature as the Atma. To look upon the three gunas or to speak of them as real, this is delusion. Like a dream and the sense enjoyments in the dream, they are unreal. If you go to sleep hungry and you dream, you are having a 7 course meal. In that dream, when you are dreaming, that is very enjoyable. Oh, so nice. I am having 7 course meal, this, that. But when you wake up, what happens? Same hunger. The dream objects did not fulfill that hunger because it was illusory. It only appeared real at that point in time. So that's why he says, like a fanciful conception or a dream, every sensuous pleasure is unreal. Hence, the knowers of the truth neither grieve. This is a similar verse as in the Gita. Ashochanan vashochastvam prajnavadam cha bhashase gatasun agatasuncha nanu shochanti panditaha. Bhagavan tells Arjun that the wise neither grieve for the living nor for the dead. Same thing he says here. Yamaraj is saying as a small child to the relatives of this king, Ushinara. What does he say? Atha nityam anityam va neha shochanti tadvidaha nanyatha shakyate kartum swabhava shochitam iti. Shochatam iti. So he says here that the knowers of the truth, tadvidaha, the wise people who know the truth, they don't grieve for that which is abiding, which is the Atma, and they don't grieve for that which is perishing also. They don't grieve for the living nor for the dead, and nor can the nature of those who are given to grieving be changed. Which means what? Till I don't know the truth, I cannot come to that state of being unaffected by birth and death. Because if I am identified with the Jiva Bhav and with the body, then I will grieve. Depending on what is my level of identification and attachment with that entity. Here they are the wives. They are grieving like anything. So he says the nature of those who are grieving like this can't be changed unless they get the knowledge and get the clarity. And of course, one has to work on one's detachment. It's not only knowledge. Knowledge even Hiranyakashipu is having. But one has to work on that detachment. So, one example is given here. The child says that there is a hunter, a fowler, who had been created by God as a veritable death for the birds. This is an analogy, okay? That fowler spread his net in the forest and put some grains and all that, and alluring the birds, he keeps catching the birds. A pair of fork-tailed shrikes were seen moving about there. In that, the female bird got trapped in the net. That net is cast by the fowler. In that, the female bird got trapped. Now, when this female bird got trapped, this male, he was very attached to her and he could not help her. And he is watching this fowler has taken. So he is helpless. He is bewailing the separation from his mate. And he is watching. So the female bird is trapped there. Now, what will the mighty, merciless providence do with my wretched, pitiable wife? And he was grieving in this way. He thinks, let the deity take me also, because what is the use of my living here when my female companion has been trapped? So let the deity take me also. What is the use for me to live in this body, surviving miserably, dragging a desolate existence? And how will I feed the young ones? They are waiting for the mother. Now the mother is not going to come back. They will be miserable. How will I nurture and nourish them? They are motherless. Now, as he is thinking all this, the fowler is also hiding behind and he is also observing. The female bird has been caught. His male bird is watching. So the fowler comes from behind, pierces the male bird with the arrow and kills that male bird. Not foods. So what is the conclusion here? He says here, evam yuyam apashyantya atma payam abuddhayah nainam prapsyatha shoच्यन्त्यः patim varsha shatairapi. He says, just like that male bird did not see its own impending death, the fowler is watching and is aiming and he kills. In the grief of the female bird having been caught there, this male bird did not even see, was not alert, and the arrow pierced, the male bird died. In that way, he is saying, your death is also impending. You are grieving for the one who has already died, and even if you grieve for a long time, hundreds of years also, you will not be able to get him back. But meanwhile, death is waiting for you. So what are you doing? In this way, when Yamraj, as a child, gave the Upadesha to the wives, then he disappears. Hiranyakashipu says all this. Hiranyakashipu ruvacha Bala evam pravadati sarve vismita chetasah gnatayo munire sarvam anityam ayathothitam. So, having given all this knowledge, the relatives of this king Suyagnya also they felt very astonished and they are also, surprised in one way, and they also realized that this is all unreal, mithya, illusory. Now, having given this knowledge, Yamaraj disappeared from there. And what did these wives of Suyagnya also do? They did what was conducive for his future. They did all his, Antyeshti Kriya and all that. And they also realized that why should we grieve unnecessarily? The Jiva is gone. Now, he says here, Hiranyakashipu has told all this for what? So that the others don't grieve for the death of Hiranyaksha. So he concludes this where he says this, Tata shochatamayuyam param chatmanam cha ka atma kapparo vatra sviya parakya eva va swaparabhiniveshena vijnanena vinajnanena dehinam. So he says that don't grieve for the death of another or even for the death of this body of yours also. That much Paraupadesha Panditya he has. He is telling others, you don't grieve for the death of others, don't grieve for your death also, meaning the body's death. Why? Because this idea that I am this body is the ignorance. Apart from the preconceived notion distinguishing one's own self from another, meaning I am different, you are different, this idea comes because of identification. It is illusory. It is nothing but ignorance. What distinction is there between one's own self and the other? Look at that. He's saying there is no difference between one's own self and the other, meaning the individual self in me is the self in all. And that is only one truth. Yet he has told the Rakshasas go and destroy all the others who are doing this yajna and all that. This is the hypocrisy. This is the ahankar. So he says, what is the difference between one's own self and the other? Or again between one's own possessions and that belonging to another in the eyes of the embodied souls in this world? Meaning drop all the grief, drop all attachment and understand Atma is different from the body and don't grieve. All this Upadesha he has given. And hearing his speech, Naradji says, hearing the speech of Hiranyakashipu, Diti along with her daughter-in-law, meaning the wife of Hiranyaksha, gave up sorrowing for her son and fixed her mind on the highest truth. See that. Tatve chittam adharayat. Meanwhile, what is Hiranyakashipu going to do? He has given highest Brahmagyan, but now he is going to go to do tapasya to kill Hari. Why? Because this is the misinterpretation of the philosophy. That if body is different, Atma is only there, then how does it matter? Do anything, eat, drink, be merry, do adharma, kill, destroy, nothing will affect me. So how does he do tapasya? What does he do? All that we will take up in our next satsang. So today we stop here. Any questions? Okay, so let's do the arati. What happened?
मंगल कांति हस मंगल 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 सब सजन सिंह चंद्रिका मंगल छवि मंगल मंगल हारती अंग अंग मंगल और श्याम रंगीन मंगल अति मेरे फतेही मंगल चित्र मंगल आरती मंगल मंगल माधु मंगल श्री मंगल चरण मंगल करणी मंगल जुगल प्रिया मंगल श्री राधा मंगल सारथि प्रिया मंगल प्रीति मंगल सारथि आधावर कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय। ओम न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चंद्र तारकम नेमा विद्युतो भान्विकुतो यमग्नि अमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वम् तस्य भासा सर्वविदं विभाति सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की।
Would you say death is a part of God's Leela so that people would live correctly because of karmic concept? See, whole Srishti is a Leela, then death also is a part of Leela only, right? Srishti itself, the creation, sustenance, destruction, all the three are a part of Leela. And second thing is, it is not because of death alone that people are going to live in the correct karmic concept, because that way to Asuras, they know about death, still they are not living, na? The purpose of death is not just to make people live by karmic concept. Purpose of death is, it is just a conclusion of the lifespan. One has come to exhaust certain karma. When that is over, one will drop and move on, continue with the next cycle of karma, whatever is ready to give result. So it is a part of God's Leela in that sense that Jiva has to keep exhausting the karma, so Jiva will go on taking new bodies. And so it is that way designed for that, to give the Jiva the right equipment for the next set of karmas. From karmic standpoint, it is a important part of the life so that one gets the new bodies as per one's desires. From Leela standpoint, everything is Leela, so death also is a part of Leela. Then we have to, when we see karma, then we have to take karma properly. Then that is at our level of purushartha, of our actions, of our choice. And when we see the Leela level, then everything is Leela. Bhagavan is doing everything as his Leela. Right. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.